Welcome back to Beers and Brews. If you haven't already, smack that subscribe button and ring that bell so you know when we have another one brewing. This week's movie is going to be Aliens. A lot like Alien, but more. What'd you think?
Huge fan. Like, I have loved this movie since I was a child, and the special effects are still top fucking notch. So,
10 out
bravo.
of 10. Yeah, absolutely. Stan Winston's pillar of special effects. It's okay, so like I haven't seen this movie in probably 8 years, maybe even a decade, and it still holds up. This movie came out in like 86 or something like that.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious, man. Like the talent behind it is absolutely mind-blowing.
That was the biggest thing that I noticed. Like, this was made in 1986, like you said, and it holds up, especially visually, so fucking well. Holds up so well. Like, the practical effects are just. That's a chef's kiss. I don't know if you can hear
Yeah.
that.
And like for folks that don't really pay attention too much to characterizations in movies like this, it's great for that because you can just look at the cool special effects. You don't have to worry about like anybody. You don't have to wait that long to see something cool.
And this was, as we said, 1986 Aliens. This is the sequel to Alien, Ridley Scott's, giant sci-fi, whatever you want to call it, his monolith. And this is James Cameron's first go around in the sci-fi world, I guess. I don't know.
No,
He did some
no.
stuff after that, but
Well, I mean, oh man, well, I can't harken back to anything because I know you haven't seen it, but this movie reeks of Terminator, like in like the middle third, like especially
well,
with the flying ships and whatnot.
when did the first Terminator come out?
84.
Oh, damn. Okay, then strike what I just said.
Whenever the dropship comes in to pick him up and then crashes, and whenever it's first dropping him off, holy shit. As soon as it unfolds the weapons, you go, that's Terminator.
Oh yeah, it looks just like an HK, a hunter killer. I'm like, man, looks fucking good though.
Yeah, it does.
Like even that bit, we'll get to it, where that the ship crashes, and it's definitely like a rear projection kind of effect. It's just the way the camera handles it. It's just like one fluid motion. If you weren't paying attention to it, or like you weren't aware of how that effect works, you're like, yeah, that was fucking cool.
You want to talk about something that I thought looked really cool? Like in the very first scene when you've got like the Marines or whoever they are like breaking into this abandoned ship or what they think is an
Oh
abandoned
yeah.
ship, and you see this robot just like scanning the area. It's like scanning with a laser, and you see all these, I don't know, it's like frosty whatever in the air. All of that just looks really cool to me.
It's weird to see a James Cameron movie today, like before he like stuck his head up his own ass. Like back when he was creative and stuff like that, and he really loved his craft and not trying to just impress people with 3D shit all the time. The guy's got a good
Yeah.
head on his shoulders.
To be fair, that 3D shit in Avatar looks pretty cool.
Abada.
Yeah, the movie is whatever, but the 3D shit looks real cool.
To your point, though, Chan Man, whenever the scan bot comes in, dude, that is such an amazing atmospheric build as well. The way they cut down the door, the way it thumps in, then the scanner bot, then the troops, and then all that for them to go, oh, well, she's alive. Fuck.
Yeah, this is like a salvage crew, I think. A salvage
Mhm.
crew trying to find just like interstellar treasure. I don't know, just stuff left behind, and they end up stumbling upon this ship that just happens to have Ripley.
Yep.
Still alive.
Yeah, just a quick refresher. In the first movie, there was a ship. They go on a planet because of a beacon, and aliens happen, and Ellen Ripley, Sigourney Weaver survives. In this movie, they go on a planet, and aliens happen, and Sigourney Weaver survives. Completely different.
Yeah, like in the first one, I guess I completely forgot that the cat survived, but they make that very
Jonesy.
obvious. By the way, that cat is now like 60 plus years old because there's 57 years that she spent up there in like cryo frozen. They
Yeah.
brought her down to the world, and fucking Paul Reiser is who they have to break the news to
Oh
her.
my god,
Eat
man!
shit.
When Sigourney Weaver gets her like haircut or whatever when she gets settled, I swear to God, they look exactly the same.
By the way,
Okay.
I'm just gonna put this out there. Fuck Paul Reiser. Just independently of anything, fuck Paul Reiser.
Oh no! Like immediately, like me and the missus were watching. Like immediately, as soon as he comes on screen, Jess was like, "He looks like a bitch."
Dude, Paul Reiser plays this fucking character in literally everything. I remember watching Mad About You, the show,
Mhm.
and always being like, man, I can't believe Burt got a sitcom.
He's so passive aggressive, just like as a person. Like when he's trying to like be He wasn't trying to be macho, but when he's doing his like little dastardly deeds, you're just like, man, I just can't fucking wait for the moment he gets his comeuppance.
Agreed.
Spoilers, he does. He does.
Well, now that she's been thawed out and she's met her little buddy, Mr. Paul Reiser, who's, that was $47 million. That's a lot of debt.
Mm.
She has to give like a debriefing, and they've made her tell the story 4 or 5 times. And this is such a good bit because she's like, get the fuck out of here. Listen to me. There's fucking aliens. You can kiss everything on that place goodbye. And they're just like, listen, bitch. It's been 20 years. We've been down there shaking bacon and ain't shit.
Yeah, like we can't leave now. There's like at least a dozen Dollar Generals there now.
Space Dollar General.
So yeah, this alien planet, they've just set up a colony. They're fucking terraforming and all that stuff. And it's like, hey, we got like 70 families there, and they haven't said anything about any aliens. Well, sorry, it turns out they haven't said anything in 2 weeks. We should probably check on them.
And it was ridiculous, like how much shit she was getting in that meeting. Like, not only was she the only surviving member of the Nostromo and stuff like that, even the head board guy said there was like not significant proof, but enough to kind of like correlate with her story. And they were still just like throwing her under the bus, like, dude, you got $75 million to pay back. Hop in a power loader and get the fucking work.
She's just like, put it on my fucking tab.
Oh, such a fucking good bit. Like, Sigourney Weaver as the power dominant alpha is amazing in this fucking role. Like, this is character development done right, at least for her in the action star role. It's wonderful.
Yeah, so Paul Reiser actually comes in and is like, he drops the idea that, hey, we haven't had contact with this colony that's out there in a little bit. We need to go out there and maybe check on them, see what's going on. And she's just like, no, I'm not going out there. There's fucking aliens. I told you there's fucking aliens out there. Don't go out there. You're going to die.
But then Paul Reiser's like, there's beer. And she's like, you son of a bitch, I'm in.
Is there beer?
No,
Well,
not really. She just instantly changes her mind and joins with him.
fucking space beer.
I mean, like, you can poke holes in the movie all you want. This is like one of the weaker bits where she goes from like, gung-ho, I'm not going to fucking go back, to like, all right, Paul Reiser, I guess.
Well, like, she's been having like these what is it called, like night terrors, where she wakes up, she's having these like nightmares, these visions or whatever. And after he proposes that to her and she rejects him, she has one about these aliens, and then she wakes up in the middle of the night and calls him and is like, yeah, okay, I'm in. But as long as we're out to destroy them, we're not going to like bring them out for any science stuff.
And in the call, like, she had woken Paul Reiser up in the middle of the night. He's like, yeah, fucking, I guess, whatever.
Good thing I had my fingers crossed.
Camera pans down there in the extended cut, and he's like, "Mwah." So now they're on the Sulaco, which is this gigantic ship that looks like the gun from Gears of War, and it's just cruising around. One of my absolute favorite scenes happens here, and it's just a quick little flash on the screen. Goes to a computer monitor as the ship wakes up, and it does like a roll call. It's got all the fucking Marines' names on there, and you're just like, yes.
Yeah, much like the first one, this movie does a really good job with just basic camaraderie. So you have all these people who, in any other movie, you would kind of like remember maybe 2 or 3 at most, and the rest would just be cannon fodder for the sake of being cannon fodder. You get to sit down with these grunts. You get to sit down while they're just like having their daily whatever. They wake up, they're all just like, man, fucking hypersleep, am I right? Yeah, fuck this joint. And they're all just really fun to listen to. They all have to they all pick on each other. They're fellas, including the gal.
I'll tell you, you said that you'd probably only remember a couple of them normally. I remember 4 of them specifically, and 2 of them only because they remind me of somebody else. Like, of course, you got Bill Paxton. You've got, like, I don't know what he is, corporal leader guy who I initially thought was Keith David, but then was disappointed to learn that it wasn't. And then once he started playing it up, I was like, all right, no, Keith David couldn't do that. I like that.
No, the guy that they found, whose name also escapes me, he's much more... He's like in between Keith David and like Lee Army.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, he was a real service member. He was a Vietnam vet, and he he went through 3 weeks of SAS training with the actors.
Oh, I
Reiser.
actually remember reading something
Okay.
about that. He was like the first African American Marine to get bumped up to like lieutenant or something. I remember reading that on IMDb.
That's cool. That's actually really cool. Because like he
Yeah.
does have that like bravado of like someone who just yells at people all the time.
Yeah.
Dude, especially whenever Hudson starts cutting up, he's like, Hudson, come here. Come here. Just like, just
Yeah.
beat your kid.
And then I remember the one guy who, like, I kept thinking maybe he's like, what's his name? Adam Baldwin. Thought he was like Animal Mother from Full Metal Jacket. It's not him either.
My favorite was always and will always be Drake. He's the male smart gunner, and man, oh man, just his little banter and shit when I was growing up was always great. And then they came out with the, I think it was Kenner action figure line, and I
Oh,
had
yeah.
his toy, and he had the smart gun, and if you rotated his waist, he clicked like. And so it was just like you were playing with a figure, and he did just like in the movie, twisting left to right, clicking and firing. I had a fucking ball with that toy.
And then, like, the only other one that I really remember is the like the beefy girl who kind of looks like Negasonic Teenage Warhead, except like
Yeah.
with a
Yeah.
lot more muscle.
Vasquez. That's it. Yeah.
Vasquez, yeah.
Yeah, because I remember like later on in the movie, I don't know if it's like a flub or anything, but you know how they have like the little security footage with their heart monitors and stuff, and they have their last name and their first initial. Hers didn't have a first initial, so I just thought that was her full name.
Yep, she's like McLovin.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they this crew's getting ready to fight or something. I don't know. They're space marines. They're getting ready to go fuck shit up.
And I absolutely love how blasé these fellas are. And it's like, oh, it's just another job. Was it just a bug hunt? Ah, we got this shit in the bag. And you just have this like sense of like foreboding that you don't get from like any other like horror-esque movie. Because like you know shit's gonna happen, but like you kind of think they got it. Like they're so chill. Not only are they like bros and buddy buddy, but they're also professional at it too.
Yeah, I love that the first thing that they say once they get the mission is, I'm tired of saving these fucking dumbass colonists. It's just like, dang.
Yeah, it's just like run of the mill, have to go somewhere else and do it all again.
Oh, another important person, I guess, that we forgot to talk about to introduce Lance Hendrickson as Bishop, who is like a synthetic person. He's an android, and he plays this role really well. How like what's that phrase? There's like the uncanny valley. How he
Oh,
portrays
dude.
that as a
He's-
real person.
He's perfect
Spot
at it.
on.
Like
Yeah.
he's perfect. Basically plays the movie's punching bag because like fuck man. He did not deserve the shit that he got from basically everybody. Like even like the buddies from like the unit, they were just giving him shit. They made him do like the 5-finger fillet nonsense or whatever.
Mhm.
Like the synthetic went out of his way for so many times this movie for everybody, and people were just like, "All right, I guess. All right."
Man, even Ripley, who is the titular, hero here, as soon as she sits down to eat, he's like, "You want my cornbread?" And she's like, "Bam!" It hits him with a fucking lunch tray like ECW match.
Shit. So it's just the reverse of that scene from Life. Like you're going to eat your cornbread.
No, you can have it.
Yeah.
But one of the, I don't know, I don't have a whole lot of qualms with this movie, but one of the qualms that I do have is from here until we actually get going, takes a little bit of time. I
Yeah.
feel like there's a whole lot of just like showing off like guns and being sweaty and things like that on this spaceship after they've woken up and gotten hyped up.
I agree and disagree. Like it does take a little long, but I think it's just like playing with your expectations. Because like you really want shit to hit the fan, but I think the movie's trying to get settled in this like little rut of like maybe, you know?
I guess
Well,
it's just a little like I know these guys are highly trained. You
Mhm.
don't need to show off their glistening muscles as much as you do. Like, and I don't know if they just don't have AC on this ship, but everyone is sweaty.
Hey, it's the 80s, baby. That's what you do.
And not to mention, they're not showing off the guys so much. They're showing off their prowess and their gear. That way, when they get in trouble with these aliens, that they are competent,
Mhm.
machismo filled, and fucking armed to the teeth.
And that actually works in the favor of Bill Paxton later on, because like in the first half of the movie, he's just like, hell yeah, man, colonial marine. Second half, oh man, I don't know. Oh.
Yeah, that's pretty spot on for second half of the movie, Bill Paxton.
So now Ripley is trying to, show that she's not worthless, and you get to see her prowess and that she is fucking skill in power loading, which comes back later, and we get to see how incompetent the lieutenant is, and boy oh boy is he like fucking worthless.
Oh, for sure. Like, he even had like some one-off lines, like, "I've flown 2 active missions before," and everybody's like, "Okay, I guess that's good," including this one, and they're just like, "Fuck, all right."
Well, leading into that, they're like, "Oh, how many drops do you have?" And he's like, 38, all simulated.
Motherfucker. But they drop out of this dropship like above an entire planet, and they do it so well that it's like you get to feel the drop. I thought that was a great piece.
Yeah, and then they get down there, and there's just fucking nobody. It's
Yeah.
like this. It's like the fucking Roanoke colony or something. I'm expecting to look around and see like Croatoan written on one of these buildings.
This is another little chance for them to show the training montage, basically, like them moving from cover to cover all the way up to the door until they open the door and go inside with their little motion tractor. And all that this can make me do is really, really anticipate that new Aliens Infestation game.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
you think it's gonna be good?
that fire team or whatever it's called?
I don't know if it's going to be good, but
You
I'm
know
going to
it's
play.
not.
Yeah, I already know I'm going to play it though.
Well, let's for prediction's sake, like we're recording this in July. I'm gonna say poop. It's gonna be bad.
I don't think it'll be good.
I'll let you know because I'm still
All right.
going to play.
Now give me that Alien Isolation 2. Yes, give me more. Ooh, so good.
What is good too, though, is the motion tracker, and they pop that bitch out, and that is such an iconic look and sound. I
The
even downloaded
sound, yeah.
that.
The sound is fantastic. It's extremely simple. It's like a blip bar sound or whatever. But the movie does a really good job juggling how you perceive that sound. Like you don't necessarily have to see the little tracker to know that it's actually working. So like
Mhm.
as these fellas are walking around, they're kind of like, "Oh, what's going on? Everything's empty." In the background there's just like nothing and then something. Nothing
That's something
and then something.
That's something I didn't really think about until just now. Yeah, it has this ability to just show you what's going on screen and still have like audio going on to raise your like tension. So you know something is going on and you know it's getting closer and closer and closer without having anything to take up like visual space on you.
Yeah.
You can still keep that sort of dark, claustrophobic feel.
And then like the movie even takes it a step further because like as they're going deeper into the facility, like the corridors they start to shrink a little bit. They get a little smaller, the stairwells get a little skinnier, and they get into this part where like all the alien goop was all over the walls and stuff, and they had constructed that whole hive or whatever, and it's extremely compact.
Yeah, and the way that they do the little tunnels or of this hive with the what they call like resin, I don't exactly know what it is, but it looks really cool. It looks really shiny and still sticky at the same time somehow. It looks like a termite made their entire hive out of like plastic or something. Shiny black plastic.
Shiny and plastic. Witness me.
Oh
Absolutely.
God, it reminds me of like a mechanical wasp's nest. Like it just
Yeah.
so weird, but at the same time you can't not look at it. Especially I'm jumping way ahead, but whenever the aliens start coming out of the walls, that's
Oh man.
Man.
the way they
Like, I don't know if it was like because I was out of my mind, but like that subtle camera trick of like focusing on like a character and in the back, like third corner of the frame, and alien's just like whoop, whoop, whoop. It's just there. I'm just like, what? He was there the whole time?
100%. I'm right with you. Like, things are getting tense. You hear the beeps and everything, like these motion detectors. Even after they said, the area is secured, we're all clear. Once they get deeper and deeper and you see like it gets darker and darker and you focus in on, I don't remember who it was, but you focus in on it and it's like this alien, it's not coming out of the wall. It was the wall.
Yeah.
And it's fucking incredible.
Now, I'm gonna like boost this movie up a little bit more, but like this is the moment where the movie stops playing around. Like for a lot of it so far, you just have the bros, you have the guys in the unit and everything. They're just fucking broing around, machismo ahoy. But then suddenly you start to get that chipped away. Like, wait a minute, we're way over our heads.
fuck yeah. Because they start seeing all those corpses with their chests burst out. They're not allowed to use like their full firearm capability due to the location being under a fucking nuclear reactor, basically. And Dude, they're all just getting wrecked, and you get shaky cam, and then you get like the POV cam, and it's back and forth, and you get to see the tension build inside the APC. You get to see you get to see Ripley step up and take control from Gorman because he's fucking worthless. You get to see
Yeah.
Apone trying to keep it together. It's fucking great.
Yeah, Ripley and a couple of others are back, sort of watching what's going on like personal surveillance. And Ripley's just like, "What the fuck are you doing? Get him the fuck out of there!" And he's just like, but,
It's like, wait a minute, that wasn't on the mission list. Wait a minute, this is groceries.
Hey guys, maybe you should pull back. Pull back. Get out of there.
They should, because there's these fucking creatures coming out of the walls with elongated heads, with crested divot-like spikes, exoskeletons like living motorcycle parts, and they're just snatching people up.
And the shit hits the fan, of course. And I forgot how many people got taken out, like half, like 3 or 4. Because I know one dude got like set on fire from friendly fire, and I felt real bad for the fella.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, they are theoretically still alive. They're just,
Well, I don't think he was. He was flame and then fell 3 stories.
Yeah, they show him hitting like the girder underneath, and he's just like, whoa! And he's out,
he'll be all right. It's a flesh wound.
He's just down there crispy.
Oh, fucking clown
fucked
comes up. Hey, Crispy, you gotta help me kill these people. First, we gotta put a bomb in your chest.
Well, let's not skip
But
past
man.
the little girl, because she becomes sort of a driving force a little bit. During all this, we see something scurry across. It's almost a jump scare. Something scurries across the screen, and we find out it's this almost feral-looking girl that's been there surviving in a little cubby hole with like a sleeping bag and a can of Pringles.
Yeah, she mostly scurries at night. Mostly.
And Sigourney Weaver like tracks her down to like a little spot, like you said, and they have like a little mother-daughter moment and all that stuff, because we do learn early on in the movie that Ellen's actual daughter had passed away from old age because she had been in cryosleep for so long. They have this like little bond or whatever, and she takes her back to the little totally not airport truck disguised as future rig.
Yeah, and she tries to like, clean her up a little bit, give her some hot chocolate, maybe clean her up with a paper towel, try and get her to talk, and she's just like, "No, my name's Newt. That's all you're gonna get. Nobody. Rebecca was my slave name."
Oh. But meanwhile, back in the hive, let's rock. You get Drake
Sure.
and Vasquez laying down heavy fire with their smart guns as they retreat back to the APC, and Ripley drives that fucking thing through a wall to rescue them.
She
And
does, yeah.
guys, but this scene is fucking epic.
Just briefly, can we just go over like, when Ripley takes control of that giant truck and starts driving the shit out of it, that fella who's directing the team is like, "Hey, Ellen, stop! Wait, stop! What are you doing? Don't no, this is a bit rash. Why are you doing this?"
You can't do that. That's not protocol.
Yeah.
So, oh, please stop! Don't.
he's so weak. But Ripley winds up saving the day. She like barrels through all those walls. She opens up the back hatch, and all the fellas jump in, but like right at their toes, like fucking 5 or 6 xenomorphs just trying to like nip at him.
And so Drake is there, and he's mowing him down. And then as he's turning to retreat, Vasquez tries to cover his back, but they forget that the aliens explode Bud. He gets all burned up with acid.
Oh,
then
yeah.
an alien tries to PC, and then Hudson gets like partially burned with acid on the arm.
True.
And then they bleed out.
Mm-hmm. Just quickly, a question for you fellas. Do you think it's like a little weird, like in the last movie, Alien, of course, only one alien, all the tension was built around that one singular thing. So in this movie, where they're like blowing them away by like the dozen, does that like take away from like the whole xenomorph thing?
I don't think so. I think that one-on-one man with gun versus xenomorph, man with gun's probably going to win with the element of knowing what he's against. The xenomorph in close quarters, unaware in its territory, is going to fuck you up every time. And they do such a good job building the suspense with the horde mentality. It's like, okay, there's a bunch of them with guns, send everyone. What do you mean, man? Everyone! And all these fucking things are just ripping towards them, and that's fucking scary. So there's a lot of suspense there for me personally.
Okay, good. Because like at first I was a little leery because like I see these xenomorphs just exploding under heavy fire. I'm just like, man, like they're almost like not even a threat anymore. Like they're not even like the strongest thing in the galaxy.
I don't know. I think about it as like having two different movies with different focuses on each. Like the first one, you've got this one this one monster that's you don't know anything about, could be anything, but it's stalking you. The first one is like Jaws. Man versus monster. And you could have several men against him, but it's still man versus this all encompassing like monster. This one is like Jurassic Park, where they could all get
Yeah.
you and they could all just rip you apart. But it's like Andre the Giant says in The Princess Bride, like it's so much different to fight against just one person. When you're fighting against a whole bunch of them, you use different moves. It's like that.
Okay. I like the Jurassic Park parallel because I brought that up watching like because like all those xenomorphs just almost look like a bunch of raptors just like barreling down the hallway.
It's a big mama T-Rex. But yeah, they bust out, they get free, and Ripley ends up breaking the transaxle. So now they're stuck out there, and they call in the dropship because they're like, "Fuck it, let's nuke it from space."
That's the logical way to go. Yeah, just fucking nuke it, get out of there. Although it is like, I don't know, what they say, $46 million with an M.
Ooh.
I
feel like in the future with inflation, that's really not that big.
Well, no, $46 million in 1986. That's like $46 trillion now or something. I don't know. That's a lot of money.
I don't know. It's a hefty bit of Bitcoin or something.
But the way they said it, when Paul Reiser said it, I was like, $46 million? That's like one tank or something from the U.S. military. It'll be all right.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the banter that Paul Reiser's character puts up, and he says, "No, we shouldn't." They say, "Why?" He goes, "It's expensive, and they're endangered species."
You're just trying to like get on some kind of like base with them. It's like, hey guys, and then fucking Kyle Reese is like, no, nuke it all.
Yeah, yeah, Ripley is the first one who says like, yeah, we should just nuke the whole planet. And Paul Reiser's like, no, man, we can't do that. This is an important species. We can't just up and decide to exterminate an entire species. They could be like peaceful, man. And Ripley's just like, we know you're not a hippie or anything. You're a dirty ass capitalist. You've got ulterior motives here. And I think if she didn't start to suspect something before that, this is really where she starts to suspect something.
Oh, yeah. Everyone's like, fuck this guy. He's a worm.
Yeah, for sure. And they basically like throw him in a corner for the rest. Well, not the rest of the movie, but for a good portion of it. They're just like, listen, fuck you. We're doing our thing. We're getting out of here.
We're not listening to you until you betray us, Judas.
Judas, no. But like we mentioned, like they call for the dropship and everything, and they're like, okay, we'll come get you, whatever. Insert fortunate son and all that. Oh, so happened on the way, or like as they were parked, a xenomorph got on board, and he's skulking around, and mid-flight, he turns the dropship pilot into Kool-Aid.
Oh, dude, he gave her like
oh no,
sensual snarl-mouthed monster kiss.
I thought she was gonna reach for like the ejector seat thing. No, she totally gets fucking eviscerated.
Absolutely eviscerated. So once the dropship just drops and blows up, and everyone's like, well, what the fuck do we do now?
Yeah.
Oh,
this is when we get that classic line, the classic line from Bill Paxton. She's got an ass like a 10-year-old boy.
Oh, disgusting.
We all know the line. Game over, man.
Game over.
That's it, man. Game over.
Yeah.
Game over.
Well, I mean, like, I don't blame the guy. Like, there's always got to be something in the back of your head when you like your fucking escape route just fucking smashes into the planet like a comet.
Well, speaking of crashing down like a comet, I'm starting to run out of beers that are space themed, but I got one right here. We should really talk about something other than fucking space aliens. But what I've got here today is from the Hop Concept out of San Marcos, California. This is Galaxy and Comet. It's an India Pale Ale, 8.0% alcohol by volume with Comet, Galaxy, Mosaic, and Denali hops. Let's see how this bad boy is.
Deploy the brew. Move it. Go, go, go.
Oh, he spilled it. Oh, drink over, man. Drink over.
All right, so this is pretty much your classic IPA. not West Coast, not East Coast. This is just, it kind of tastes exactly like what IPAs tasted like before the big craft beer revolution. It's a little bitter, but it's got that like green floral background, not fruity at all. It's just a little bit spicy too. I think that's probably from which one is it? The Galaxy hops. I think that's the one that gives a little bit of that spicy character. Honestly, like it's not anything special at all as far as IPAs go, but it's just like very in the middle of everything.
So this is more like a crash and fireball as opposed to a open mouth snarling monster piss.
I don't know. It kind of tastes like a xenomorph's pussy.
Oh, just gonna burn your tongue up, huh?
Is that what the little mouth's for?
Oh no! Get it pregnant.
Oh, shit.
Oh fuck! 17 days overdue, just like these goddamn Marines before they're gonna be accounted missing.
Yeah, we find out that it's going to take 17 days before, of being missing before they can anticipate any kind of rescue because they can't actually communicate with anyone back home.
That's so ridiculous because, like, even like police around here just like don't even wait the 24 hours to report somebody missing. It could be serious. Just do it immediately. Meanwhile, the folks at Wayland Utony are just like, so have you heard from the guys? Oh, has it been 19 days? Fuck them.
Well, I think some of that has to do with like the time of communication. Like, I don't know how far away these people are on this planet. It's got to be like far away because it's going to take a while for their message to get to anyone. I don't know if it would take 17 days or if it's like maybe 6 days outgoing and then maybe it takes 9 days to get there. I don't know.
I mean, perhaps the one thing I did take away from this was Hudson, I'm sick of your bullshit. Do work.
I don't know. I really like how broken the team is after this because, like I said earlier, they go from like grunt, and now they're all just like, well, fuck. I legitimately don't know what the fuck to do. Sorry, Sigourney Weaver. You're tall.
Sorry that you're tall.
Not only am I tall, but that lets me look down from on high on this map. Look, service tunnel. Weld here, and here. Affirmative.
Yeah, they sort of start to dictate some sort of a plan. I don't exactly know what it is, but it involves blueprints and like sealing up some exits.
Yeah.
Don't know what they're going to do after they do that, but...
Well, I kind of get the idea. They find kind of a secluded area, chop off all the doors. They can kind of keep an eye on the other bits and everything, just to kind of stay frosty. Wink. And it's just kind of silly how it gets put together because, like, Michael Biehn or Bine or whatever's like, there's nothing we can do. It's too open. And Sigourney Weaver's just like, I've got a plan. I guess it could fucking work. Let's do it.
Well, I guess we could.
Like, the way it goes together so quickly, it's almost like, well, it's so open. What do we do? And she's like, what if we just close the door? Jesus fucking Christ. She's got it.
She's brilliant. Will you go out with me, Ripley? Where am I located?
Yeah, that's something I was going to bring up. Like, he gives Ripley his locator so that I guess they can know where she is. But he makes like a sentimental kind of an appeal to it. I don't know what I'm really trying to say, but like it's almost like a romantic scene. Mm-hmm. And then just immediately she's like, hey, little girl, Newt, I'm going to give this to you because that's going to be completely useless, but also want to be a little bit motherly.
Yeah, well, that's why later on in the movie, he was really hard on about teaching her about the pulse rifle and stuff like that. Because like he noticed that like she had like, oh, whatever, giving away the watch. Now he has to step up his fucking game. Like, hey, this is a pulse rifle 2000 whatever, it's got whatever rounds. Oh, it's so heavy, look how heavy it is. Just like throws it at her.
Don't you want to feel this power between your legs?
Is that what I'm supposed to do with a gun? But we do have a few more scenes here between Ripley and Newt, the little girl that she saved. And let me tell you, I hadn't seen this movie before, so having seen The Thing before this and several other movies, I did not trust this little girl at all. I was so apprehensive. I was dead determined. This girl is a fucking xenomorph in disguise.
I mean, you kind of get that idea, like, when we get into the whole Paul Reiser fucking over everybody kind of thing, and that gets deeper down that well, you kind of think, well, maybe she's got, like, a little bun in the oven. Maybe she's got that little face hugger just waiting to, pop out there.
She's a parasite of another kind, just taking up all the sweet Ripley's time.
Oh.
After Senpai teaches her how to handle that big gun and slap it hard, she's so out, she has to go lay down under the bed with Newt, and she wakes up dead.
That's the worst way to wake up.
Unless you a zombie.
Nah, but she doesn't wake up dead. She got a facehugger trying to latch onto her and shit. And at the moment, Bishop's busy hacking in his blue light cyberpunk background.
Oh yeah, just briefly tie that little knot. They sent Bishop off to like the satellite dish in the middle of nowhere, and they sent him on like the quickest way there, which is like a la Shawshank Redemption or whatever.
I have that exact note. Bishop volunteers for a Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah, like I don't exactly know what he was supposed to do. They were saying a whole bunch of technical whirligig stuff, like he's got to go patch into the mainframe and remote out to the. I guess there's another plane that he was gonna. I don't know what he was doing, but he was like, "I'm an android. It only makes sense for me to go, but I'm still scared. I'm not stupid."
Yeah, and it's like the little bit of brevity there is really nice because Bill Paxton's like, "Oh, I don't want to go, man. I got so much to live for," and Bishop's like, "Well, fuck, I'll go." And then Bill Paxton's like, "Yeah, fucking send him, man. He's the best guy that we can put out there." Oh.
It's fucking good. And you get these little facehuggers trying to suck face, and Ripley and Newt are trying to escape the med bay. Burke sees it on cam, tells no one because he's a rat-fink bastard.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
Fuck
Yeah.
that guy.
Ripley has to. They do a great job making you fucking hate him. Oh my god. But she has to use like a lighter to trigger the fire alarm, and then all the boys come a running to the rescue, and they kill.
Yes. It's one of my favorite parts because like the glass in the room, I guess, is really tough to break. And I know it's kind of set up to that the fellas shoot the glass first before anything happens, but it's extremely quick, and it straight up looks like Michael Biehn just smashed his way through that fucking window to
Straight
save
up.
his woman, Ripley.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
He just like dives through it too.
Showing you the power difference. She's like, strength!
The power of love.
I was gonna
Oh.
say that.
Nice. But yeah, they eradicate the two goddamn facehuggers in there, and immediately Ripley goes, "It was Burke," and he's like, "Oh, it wasn't me, I swear."
And they have that little scene where they like throw him into a seat just to figure out what to do with them. They're like, "Oh, we're mad about you."
Have that written down again. Fucking right here it says, "Rats on Burke. They really are mad about you, Burke."
Yeah.
So what had happened? I guess they had the facehuggers that they discovered in the first building they went in. They were sort of in these what would you call them, like tube kind of things. Well, they brought those back to the ship and so that Bishop could study them, do a little science stuff. And I guess something happened. I don't know. Paul Reiser's a dick, and they got out.
That's actually the entire plot of the back half of the movie. What happened? Man, Paul Reiser's kind of a cocksucker, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. But he gets his cock eaten in just a few.
The whole thing just chewed up and swallowed.
But in this little scene where they have him like in a chair, like almost about to waterboard him, I absolutely love the fellas. I love the team because Sigourney Weaver's like, "We gotta fucking kill this guy," and he's like, "Wait a minute, come on, let's be civil." And then Kyle Reese is like, "No, we're fucking killing you."
And then she's like, "No, god damn it."
Yeah, somebody says like, "We got to keep him alive," and I'm just like, "Why?"
Yeah, the entire audience in the theater. Fucking why?
And then immediately, like, the xenomorphs cut the power to the ship. So it's like, all right, we got this other thing to deal with. We'll come back to you.
Yeah. Like, you're lucky this movie turned into a horror film just now.
I mean, it's kind of been a horror film. Like, it's like a horror action adventure kind of thing. I like it. I'm into this dynamic that they have going on right now.
Oh,
You know
for
what else
sure.
You know what else is into this? The aliens. As a matter of fact, they're right on top of us.
Oh, fuck, yeah.
Oh man, that's a fabulous scene. Like goodness, they're all not trapped, but they kind of like bottleneck themselves in this room to where like there's only one entrance, and they're keeping an eye on. They have the motion trackers bleeping away. They're getting closer and closer and closer, and then it kind of seems like wait, they should kind of already be in the room.
Yeah, and the way they do this is really tense, and like it just builds too, because you hear these beeps getting gradually closer, and they're looking around to see like, where are they? They're 15 meters away. They're 12 meters away. They're 5 meters away. They should be in the room with us right now. Where the fuck are they? And then I don't remember who it is, but somebody just like goes up and peeks out the ceiling.
Oh, Michael Biehn.
and what he sees, you only see it for like a split second, but it's like, how many would you say? It's like fucking 30 of them, 30 full-size xenomorphs
Yeah.
just crawling toward, like fast crawling toward them.
And like the look on his face when the camera flashes back is priceless. He's just like,
And the way he drops back down firing is what's best. He doesn't even try to like hop down. He literally just lets himself fall backwards and unleashes whatever he has in that pulse rifle.
This is one of the many oh shit moments in this movie for me. And it like, I'm a horror movie fan. I like jump scares. I like all that tense building stuff. Like, I don't, it takes a lot to get me to go like, oh shit. But I had a few of them in this movie.
absolutely. But like, as the team is completely shocked and blindsided by this revelation, fucking pussy ass Reiser like escapes through the back door behind the storage stuff.
Does he escape though?
He's trying real hard.
Dude, all the people that literally fucking hate Paul Reiser now because of this movie.
Is there like a Facebook page I need to follow? I feel like there is. You know, fuck Paul Reiser.
He's a real good guy, but fuck him, Burke.
Oh man, he's like that dude from Ghostbusters that people kept calling dickless for like 30 years.
What?
Damn, who don't have a dick?
Yeah, but Burke runs away. He gets his comeuppance, though, as they start to spray through all these aliens, and there's just too many. We unfortunately lose our good friend Bill Paxton. He is drugged to the abyss. They start falling back, and the door's locked, and they're like, Burke, and he's on the other side like,
Nope.
And he gets eaten. Apparently one single xenomorph had decided to flank and was waiting, and it ate him. So, fuck him.
Yeah, fuck him.
This is a one time I'll root for a xenomorph.
Agreed. And I think that they put him over there by himself, that single xenomorph, so he would never be thought to be in any of the xenomorphs that were eliminated in the firefight. He gets to survive, at least until the... Hell, maybe he even ran away.
I just like how he, like, you know, he's obviously afraid. He's like backing into a doorway. Like, you think, like, I mean, obviously the way he's backing into it, you think, all right, something's coming. He's gonna get spooked or something. And then, surprise, motherfucker, it's a xenomorph, and he just gets fucking annihilated, I assume.
For a second, I thought you were going to be like, oh, that's the xenomorph equivalent of Paul Reiser. That's why that one's there.
Oh, well, it wouldn't have eaten him. It would have been like, well, I need to take you back to the lab for prosperity's sake. I mean,
you know, really, this guy, he's worth $42 million, and that's a lot of profit.
It's worth 42 resin chips. That's what aliens spend money like.
I was going to go with Space Bucks.
Space bucks. God damn, yes. He's worth 42 million space bucks.
That's a lot of space bucks.
But with the team compromised, they got to get the fuck out of there. Like, Bill Paxton's gone, Paul Reiser, fortunately, gone, and they get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, there's only a handful of them left now, right?
Yeah. And it's dwindling as we speak. Because, like, the way they get out of there, Newt's like, hey, I know all the tunnel systems in this entire place. Let's go through here. And they scurry through one of those, and Vasquez gets got, unfortunately, because she takes out a bunch of xenomorphs and she gets gauzed on.
Her K to D is through the roof, though. She has killed so many of these fucking xenomorphs. She's emptied out her smart gun. She emptied out a pulse rifle. She even took one motherfucker out with his pistol until, you know, the acid got her.
Yep. And who was the fellow that with the burnt eye that came back for her?
That's Foreman. He fucking mans up.
Sure does. Like, he fucking goes out like a man, too, because, like, they're surrounded on both sides. You know, the other fellas are trying to get away, and he's like, you know what? Click, grenade.
Damn
yeah,
right.
And through this whole little scene, this is one of the big times where I'm like, this girl, there's something about this girl. I don't fucking trust her. She's, you know, taking these shortcuts and shit, going across the roof or whatever. She's trying to lure them in, you know, I don't know. But she ends up, like, falling into, like, a little slicky slide or something, drops down into, like, a little boat or something, a sewer.
Yeah.
I don't know what this is.
It's just a space mode. Fuck it. Whatever.
Yes,
Doesn't
a
matter.
very, very convenient, small child-sized chute leads her to a moat.
And I know you can't root against kids in movies like this, but, like, given the situation, I was just like, fuck her. Fuck her. You're almost there. Just go.
Yeah, we got there and there were no survivors. None at all. Nope. Yep. We just nuked the whole place. Nope.
Yeah.
No children at all.
But that's where the mama bear kicks in, and she can't have that.
Yeah, yeah. It's a little bit of a detriment because like they get to these little drop ship or whatever, and everybody gets aboard. It's like, wait, give me exactly 15 minutes. I'll be right back.
Yeah, but conveniently, she does still have that locator on her because we knew that wasn't going to come back at all.
This little bit kind of annoyed me because it made the movie like linger a little too long.
Yeah.
But man, it has one of the best shots in the entire franchise. So Newt, gets sent down to the space moat, whatever. They find her pretty quickly, and she's under like some metal grates, and they have to cut it open with a little laser thing. And like as they're busting their ass trying to get it off, a xenomorph is like right behind her, like almost the entire time. And when it finally breaks the surface, holy fucking shit! I was like, ugh! I was like, no, get out of there, Newt.
It looks so good with all that water running off
does.
of it, the tail in the background whipping. The suits for these things are incredible.
Holy
Beautiful.
shit, yeah.
Beautiful shot. Goodness.
Speaking of suits, can we just talk about, just very briefly, something that I have to say? Like, okay, they know that these things bleed acid. They're just walking out into the world, just raw dogging the world with their face. No protection, nothing on, like, they're
Okay.
basically shirtless.
Yeah. Well, I was going to bring that up as I was watching the movie, but I realized something is that the planet itself has already been terraforming for 20 plus years. So there was oxygen. It's
Yeah.
fine. It's not like Alien Covenant where they legitimately walk onto a brand new planet they know nothing about and they're just fucking raw dogging the shit out of it and they get fucking ear aids.
Ear aids. I think they're called hearing aids.
Good God.
But no,
But this-
seriously, like, put on something, some kind of protection. Wear a helmet of some type. I don't know.
Well, they had those goggles you get from chemistry class,
They need something, because, like, just a little bit of acid from one of these things, like, you shoot a bullet into one of them, which is your, like, that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to kill them. You get a little bit of blood spray on you. There goes your arm. Come on, man. Put something on.
It'll just
No.
be like Bill Withers from Predator. Just keep going. Just the arm's still shooting for you. There you go. It's like a turret now.
Bill Withers was in
Carl Weather.
Carl Weathers.
Carl
yeah,
Weathers.
fuck.
Oh. So, geared up Mama Bear fucking grabs a flamethrower, goes booking down into the alien hive, and we get another good look at this. And then she makes it to the egg room. And
Oh,
man,
fuck.
Yeah.
the
Goodness.
fucking shots in this room alone are amazing. Of the eggs, of the queen's ovipositor, of the queen herself, backlit like some sort of angelic mechanical spider dragon. It's fucking badass.
From here on out, everything that you see on the screen is incredible. It looks so good. No qualms with anything visually from here on out. So good.
Yeah, and it's the perfect form of escalation too, because the xenomorph itself is, self-described as like the perfect organism. And there's something about seeing the queen. If I was in Ripley's position, I'd be like, well, shit.
And she kind of is. Like, we have a little
It's a Mexican standoff.
a little hint that this is going to happen, or that we're going to encounter something like this earlier in the movie. Ripley says something like, all right, so there's all of these face huggers, and they all hatch from eggs. Well, who's laying the eggs? And, whoever it is just kind of disregards that and is like, I don't know, maybe we'll find out. We found out, and it's the queen, and the queen is fucking-gantic.
In a little bit, like after this scene, we definitely have to talk about, it starts like walking, and it almost has like parallels to like the T-Rex from Jurassic Park chasing after the Jeep. Like, it's fucking ridiculous.
So Ripley is basically threatening to burn the eggs if the queen doesn't let her take Newt. And so the queen is actually intelligent. She figures it out. She's like, sure, take the kid, get the fuck out of here. And Ripley, being spiteful, is like, I'm gonna burn him anyways.
I'm gonna burn this motherfucker down.
And the queen's like, bitch.
She said,
Yeah.
bitch.
She
It's
looked her
implied.
right in the windows of her souls, and she said, bitch.
All right, just
man.
as long as we're on the same page.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
she blows up everything in there and fucking boogies out, and we get to see the queen tear away from her egg sac and start
Ugh.
charging after her in an amazing fucking scene.
And keep in mind, during this whole time, she started out with 15 minutes before explosion or something. I don't really know. Was this like the nuclear reactor going? I don't know what's going on
Yeah.
here, honestly.
Well, it was the reason why they couldn't use their weapons early on in the movie because their firearms would pierce through. I forget what it was, but it would cause like a cataclysmic meltdown, and that's unfortunately what happened. So the time it took from then to now is what it took for everything to go to shit and back.
Well, we keep hearing these updates. It's like you have 12 minutes before meltdown or whatever.
And then we cut to Ellen Ripley and Newt in the elevator, just jamming to some little elevator music, like dum dum bum bum ba-dum.
And then they do have commercials. I think I heard something about the softer side of Sears.
Oh wow, that brings me back.
But they get out, and she's like, "Oh fuck, we're gonna die because T-Rex has used the other elevator." And is like,
yeah, that actually made me laugh. I know it shouldn't have. I know it shouldn't have.
Xenomorph press the button? How did she press the button?
With her little mouth.
She has a very articulate tail. Okay, you want to talk about the little mouth? The Queen's face is so fucking amazing with her clear teeth and the way the head drops down out of that carapace casing. Dude, wow.
Oh, it's incredible. I'll bring him up again. Stan Winston and his company. This is the reason why he got all that business.
That's the guy that did Jurassic Park, right?
Jurassic Park, Terminator, Jaws, Alien, of course. Just everything. Anything that's overly complicated or articulate, I'm sure he had a hand in it. Fuck, he even designed the Iron Man suit that you know and love. He's everywhere.
We should do a couple of his movies sometime soon.
Yeah, but the ship is there, and it arrives just in time for them to jump onto the little escape ladder as the Queen rushes towards the bottom of the ship. Things are slightly implied that maybe someone stole away.
Slightly implied.
Wink.
And the Queen at the bottom. There's just a jar to the ship.
The ship's a jar.
A jar.
Oh.
But they're celebrating though. It's like, Bishop, you did it, you son of a bitch. I knew you'd come. And it's like, Bishop, you did okay. He's like, I did?
Oh
the moment he finally gets a little win for himself.
He just gets fucking impaled.
And this is one of the most gruesome deaths in the movie, and it's not even red blood. It's just whatever they use, the white shit, and the dude just pumping that shit out of his mouth. It's gunk, 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 just going everywhere.
You
it's
guys,
so absurd.
If you haven't seen this movie, just look up this scene. This scene is worth it for no, first watch the movie, but this scene makes my jaw drop.
It's incredible, but it also, if you don't want to spoil the movie for yourself, just look up the milk gallon challenge. Same thing.
Exactly. Man, but the way that she comes down out of the ship after fucking wrenching him in half to just be at Ripley, and then Ripley has to run away while she's busy playing Whack-A-Newt and get the power load, and she's got that fucking badass line, and she's just get away from her, you bitch. And then it's brawl time.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's so crazy because the Queen is ginormous.
Yeah.
But the power loader has this articulation to where you start to think, man, Ripley's got a chance, because she puts her a headlock. And you think she's gonna pop her like a lobster or something like that.
Ooh, I wonder what xenomorph claws taste like.
Burning.
Oh, that's
Your face just melts away.
But man, I still want to talk about fucking Bishop here, because he is half a person. You only see his head and his torso and his white fucking guts. I don't know why he has guts, because he's an android. His white fucking guts are just spilled out of the bottom of this torso, and it looks so good. And he's still, you can tell he's in pain, but still alive.
But you're absolutely right. Even though that he'd been halved, he's still trying to help. He's still trying to earn his gold star for the day.
100%.
And that's what I love about him, because it's almost like he's trying to reach some form of humanity, camaraderie. Ripley and the Queen alien, they fall into this air hatch and stuff, and they're still brawling it out a little bit. Ripley tries to wriggle out and climb up and open the door.
Yeah, she opens up that air hatch and like she locks her arm around the ladder there so she can try and hang on. Huh?
It's just an instant no. Like, come on now, you ain't hanging on.
Yeah, so she's trying to like push the alien, let the queen like go out into the suck zone while she holds on to the ladder. Meanwhile, you got Bishop and Newt, about to sling down into that too. Bishop, half of Bishop, I should say, grabs a hold of Newt.
Yeah.
Like,
Bishop with the interception.
Like, here is what blows my mind about this scene. He is half a person. This is all practical effects. His guts are spilling out, and yet this torso moves across the room. Like, how? Like, whoever did that, goddamn. That's a great piece of practical effect right there. That is all-time level.
You know what, just like to bring it down a little bit, I absolutely love that you love this, because it's just so fucking great. I'm glad that we could just share it like this. This is really good.
Fuck yeah. And so
Absolutely.
The alien gets sucked out into space. Ripley shuts the airlock, crawls back up, hugs half the man that used to be.
Yeah.
And
thanks,
it's
Scott
sleepy
Weiland.
time.
Not bad for a human.
Oh, he's probably dead, but man, good for him.
Yeah.
And then the movie kind of gets tied up in a nice little bow, kind of. This is actually my least favorite part of the movie, because I've seen what comes after this, and fuck me.
Shh, no. My little thing says she calls her mommy after 2 days, then it's sleepy time, and this is the last Aliens film.
Yes. It's a shame that they never had any good ideas after this, because boy, no, like, it's the movie actually just kind of ends. They go into hypersleep, and the credits just kind of roll mid-scene. That doesn't bother me, but like, I just know that what comes next. Oh man, I hate when like fucking sequels ruin the movies before it. I just can't get the chip off my shoulder.
That's why I don't watch them.
So that was Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Oh, I did watch that one in there. So this was my first time watching it, and I am thoroughly impressed. Like, the actual script itself isn't anything special, to be honest, but the real star of this show is the practical effects. Holy shit. This is an absolute lesson in how you do practical horror effects. I was blown away, especially with the last, let's say, half hour of it. It doesn't get any better than this.
That makes me fucking stupid happy.
No, me too, for sure. That's why I brought it up earlier, because like usually when we show him like an 80s action movie, he's like, whatever. He's a robot and a cop. I got it. Okay, whatever. I 100% agree, of course. I am in the small minority that I enjoy the first Alien movie more than Aliens, but they are two completely different masterpieces. Like,
I agree.
Story-wise, they're congruent. They go together. But there's something about Aliens, which James Cameron harnesses his action goodie bag of just like, I don't know, just he's a great filmmaker. And it's kind of sucks that later on he kind of like put his head up his own ass, because this is brilliant. This is a great time. Like, it might be a little slow in the first third, but like, other than that, visually, like, you can bitch about like you don't like any of the characters, or you didn't catch up and you didn't learn any of their names or anything. But like, visually, this movie is entirely compelling. There's very little that isn't entertaining just by de facto. Give this movie a shot. Like, even if you haven't seen the first Aliens, you might lose a little bit of connectivity, fine. But this one alone, please. If you love visual effects, if you love special effects, if you're like a filmmaker who would just like wants some kind of like inspiration, please watch this movie.
Dude, it spawned an entire world of lore, of technology, of prop making that we haven't really seen too many movies touch on since. And it's a shame that we're living in 2021 and movies are coming out with effects that in their own right are brilliant. Like, I can't really take anything away from these Marvel movies. The special effects there, even though they're CG, are top notch. But I would still rather see that real creature on screen. You can still tell the difference. And I fucking love that goddamn queen so much. The females in here it's so ahead of its time. Like these women are kicking ass and they're doing it the right way. Never once are you like, oh, she's just an auto badass. She's earning everything, and it's fucking cool. I have nothing negative to say about this other than the fact Newt calls her mom after 2 days.
Well, there you have it. Fuck Paul Reiser. If you have any strong feelings about the movie or the show, leave in the comment section below.
Make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons. Fuck Paul Reiser. And make sure you hit the little bell icon too so you know next time we got another one of these brewing.
Get out there in all of our social media to where you can say fuck Paul Reiser. We got that Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Reddit, YouTube. We're out there on, thanks to the Anchor app, we're out there on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. There's no reason you guys aren't listening. If you decide not to give us a chance, maybe we'll just have to get mad about you.
No, there it is. Fuck.